Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open. It's time to review our plays, and man, one heck of a week. So if you guys have been following this series, we've been wheeling in, we've been wheeling out. We got assigned 3 different stocks about 5 weeks ago, and we are on the brink of potentially wheeling out of our last one. We hit new all-time highs this morning. We had conviction. We doubled down, and boy, is it paying off. So what do we have to do? Well, we just have to wait and see how the rest of this week plays out. But let's jump into it. Let's look at the plays. Let's look at the overall. First things first, I want to look at the graphic I created because it gives a real good picture of what's happened over the last 5 weeks of assignment. So we were selling calls, we were selling puts, and earlier this year we were just selling puts only, right? We sold a bunch of puts on MARA, MSTX, and MSTU. We ended up wheeling out of MARA pretty quick. We made $150 on that. We wheeled out of MSTU. We made $150 on that. Well, technically, I think $149, but $150 on MSTU, and that was with a couple of contracts. We did a couple of swing trades as well, buying some shares lower, selling those odd lots higher. And then MSTX, we took all of that capital. We doubled down on MSTX. We averaged down, and as of this morning, we now have some in-the-money calls. We're going to talk about how I'm going to be managing those, but the good thing is now we are above our cost basis on MSTX. We made over $1,000 wheeling into it, selling covered calls, and hopefully by Friday, the goal is that our shares are getting called away on Friday. We book the gain, we get all back to cash, and we are at all-time highs in the mini portfolio. And so if you've been following this journey, you know that I've been trading this mini portfolio to showcase how to trade options on smaller accounts. Sometimes a lot of people online, especially on my X account, say you cannot trade cash secured puts and covered calls on smaller accounts. You need a bunch of money to do it. And yes, is it easier with a bunch of capital? For sure. But you can also do it on smaller strategies. Is there a higher risk? Yes. Do you have to have conviction in the stocks you're trading in? Yes. But it's possible, and let's take a look at it. So one day we were up $1,000 or 7.7%. For the week, we're up 20% or $2,449. For the month, we're up $4,122 or 40%. Year to date, 14%. 1 year, we're up 109%, almost 110% or $7,539. And all time since we started this account back in we started really trading in March of 2023, and that is when they enabled options in Robinhood. We started trading some options back then. So we've been trading in and out of calls, puts, and stocks here and there, and slowly but surely just building the portfolio, right? So all time almost back to that 100%. We would be at 100%, but I ended up depositing some more cash, as you guys know, on the dip so that I could buy more shares. And of course, when you add more cash, it changes the percentages around. So that's where we're sitting in the account, $14,420. Nice to see this back. What's crazy is before we got assigned, we were at $13,879. We pulled all the way back down to, I think, let me just pull this back. Let's look at the month. We went all the way down, I want to say, to about 8,800 or so. Yeah, 8,300. So it's been a wild ride. We were at 8,300 just a few weeks ago. Now back to 14,400. We'll see where we're at on Friday. We could be back down to 12,000. I don't know. You guys know I don't panic. I just continue to trade. I manifest the win each and every single week. We sell calls, we sell puts, and we get busy. So buying power at 1,274. I would be looking at selling puts today, but everything is just massively green, right? So if we look at some of the stocks we'd sell puts on, TSLL is one of them. It's up 17% today. I don't sell puts into that kind of green. When we look at MSTU, one we've been trading, this one is up 14% today. We don't sell into that kind of green. We look at maybe MARA, same kind of thing, right? $14.14. It's up 14% today. I'm not selling into that type of green. So I'll wait for a pullback. If it doesn't come, no worries. I will just sit on cash. It's all right. It's not burning a hole in my pocket. So we'll just let the $1,200 sit for now. And we will control, we can control. Contributions for 2025, we're at $445 so far. IRA match of free $13.35 from Robinhood, of course. And look at this. So we sold some calls on Friday, and we sold it on a green day. But I sold it really, really aggressive. And the reason why I did that is, as you guys know, I am wheeling in and I am wheeling out. My full goal is to get back to cash, right? That's the goal. I wanted to get back to cash. I've been telling you that for weeks. And so we've been averaging our costs down, and we are selling covered calls in order to get back to cash. So that's the goal. We're in the negative now. And what that means is if I were to sell this exact same call right now, it would be worth $756 more. But to me, I don't care. My full goal is to get back to cash. And so what I did is I went into MSTX and I said, I have 420 shares. What's my cost basis? It's $32.99. And I said, how can I get the maximum amount of premium to sell my shares at a profit, right? Now, albeit it's only a 1 cent profit, but let's focus on what we can focus on. And that is what I actually will be selling my shares at, right? So on Friday, I did a short call roll, which means I just closed out my $33 calls from last week. I opened new ones for $75. I got an overall credit of $304 for that transaction. So I'm getting an extra $300 to sell my shares potentially at the $33 strike. And that means I would let my shares go. I'd collect and keep the whole $304. And my actual break even on this would be, $33.75. So it'd be similar to me selling my shares at $33.75. Now, MSTX is trading at $33.61 right now, so we're still in the green as of right now if things were to go. But it's early in the week. It's a massive rip up on MSTX. It's up 13% today. It could fall down, and I could end up keeping my shares. If that was the case, then of course, I would just keep my shares and I'd sell another call. But $300 in rent for the week is absolutely phenomenal, and we can't lose because if we're in the money, yes, we could lose in the sense that there could be some more upside that I could have gotten. But for me, getting back to cash is the ultimate goal. So I went aggressive right at my cost basis. If we lose the shares, of course, I got paid $300 for the week for collecting rent. I'll get back to cash. And then we come in here and we go back to selling puts, right? So my cost basis is 33. I could literally come in, this is just for this week, but I could sell, if I wanted 33 again, and I wanted 4 of them, we could get paid $750 to get my shares back. If we went 2 weeks out of the 33, we could get paid $1,200 to get my shares back. So that's where we're at. This is why I want to get back to cash. If I'm going to get back into MSTX, I want to do it at a much lower price. Maybe I'll do one contract at a higher price, but that's where we're sitting at MSTX. It's going to be very hard to lose here with MSTX because we are in a nice upward trend. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin has been moving. We moved from 83 to 84, now to $88,000 this morning. I think we're sitting right around that $88,000 mark. And with that $88,000 mark comes a higher MSTX. I think this stock can push to the 40s, or I should say this ETF can push to the 40s. But of course, I want to de-risk. Portfolios at an all-time high. Get me back to cash and get me back to selling cash secured puts because we have a lot of goals on the table for this. So let's talk about it. This is every single trade we have made so far this year in this portfolio. You guys can see puts. I was selling puts all the way until February 21st. Then we got assigned on a bunch of stuff, and then we started selling some calls. We started generating that income. We did a couple of trades here, a couple of trades there on MSTU. We booked $30.55 and then $25.50. And this is what it all comes down to, right? This is how much we have made so far. Mara 150, MSTU 94, MSTX 1902, Riot $10, TSLL 105. So 2,261 so far in options premium for 2025. We've had a little bit of wheel profit there, which is where we got to the 150 mark on MSTU. And we are just wheeling and dealing. So we started the month out at 11,389. We've gone up, we've gone down. Right now, we're obviously sitting about that $14,000 mark. We'll see where we're sitting at the end of the week. But the thing that I control is the options premium, and we are at $810 of options premium. That is money I have made from this portfolio, and that is giving me about a 7.5% return on my money for the month. So not bad. So far this year, we're averaging $753 a month. Capital gains, not as much because we are being aggressive. Let's compare this to last year. In March of 2024, we got $143 worth of options premium. This month, $810, beating it by $667. And so far, we're beating our portfolio last year by $1,916. Let's take a look at where the money's coming. You can see here, small portion of it's from the wheel cap gains. The rest is just from the options premium. comparing it to last year, you can see if green is beating blue, then we are doing what we need to be doing. So green is beating blue, of course, $810 this month, $143 last year. February, we're beating that number. We're not beating January's number of the 928, but let's remember we have 1 week left. So if all my shares get called away this week, well, then that's it. That it is what it is. But we still have some money left in the portfolio where we could sell some puts. So if we get a red day this week, I will be selling some puts. But the goal is to let everything get back to cash. How are we looking for the month when it comes to the weeklies? First week we made 280. Second week we made 190. Third week we made 340, and that's from the call premium. And we sold a put on MSTU that expired worthless. So we sold 2 puts on MSTU at the 470 strike for $24. Those expired worthless. So that's where that money came from as well. When we look at the year, how are we doing? Well, the goal this year, in the entire year, the goal was $5,143 worth of options premium. We are already 43, almost 44% of the way to our 2025 goal. And guys, it is March. We're only in our first quarter of 2024 and we're almost 50% of the way. So we're making headway. We're changing the game and we are moving our way up, right? So this is the power of what we're doing. Imagine doing this as a couple $100,000 portfolio, and that's what I showcase every single week, right? I try to show you a little bit of the small options, the big options, the dividends, just a little bit of variety of everything, because that is real investing, right? We just have a variety, but I'm doing this with a couple $100,000 myself. And on average, I make between $10,000 and $15,000 a month, and I've done that now for the last 3 years. So this is legit. This is what you can do each and every single week, and you can do it with whatever stocks you want to do it with. So that's the cool part. Balance, the goal is to get it to 18,148. What is the balance as of right now? I need to change this because we're not at 12,300 like we were last video. We're about, what were we at? About let's just say 14,100 for now. So 14,100 puts us at 77.54% of our goal for the entire 2025. Now, could this totally change by Friday? Yeah, it could come down, it could go up, but what we can focus on is we're killing it right now. So we're just going to continue pushing forward. If I can get to that 18,000 sooner than later, that just means that my option snowball can stack even faster. We only need about $4,000 left to go to hit it. And if we stick on this pace that we're on for Q1 right now, we're looking at potentially a $9,000 annual options income goal that we could get done. So that's where we're sitting. We've already crushed, obviously, the month. When we look at, let me move these. I'm not sure why these keep getting, oops. Let me just move this up. All right. I do love doing this on an iPad. It makes it so fun. Let me grab that, get that out of the way. So when we look at our 3% base case, which is what we are basing everything off of, we needed $370 worth of options income to get it done. And of course, we've already done that. Added capital, we've obviously added more than 140. Remember, these are just base cases and that I'm trying to make sure I beat. Starting balance of 12,336. We are way above that for right now, right? So we're 439 above our goal. Current balance is sitting over 14,000. And if we continue on this pace, it's very, very possible that we could get to maybe a $20,000 balance by the end of the year. Just depends. So this is where we're sitting for the month. This is where we're sitting on the goals. We are absolutely pushing it to the next level when it comes to trading options. We love that we're almost back to that 100% all-time mark. We're going to continue to push higher. There's a lot of volatility, and that's just how it goes. But if we can get back to cash, we will reduce the volatility, and we will get back to that steady, consistent little gains, right? As we saw in the let me go to like the 1 year. This is when we're in all this choppiness is when we own shares. Then we get back to cash and we just slowly chop up. We chop up, we chop up, we chop up, we chop up. Then we got to sign shares, and then we slowly are getting back to cash. And as we get back to cash, we reduce the volatility until we get our next round of assignments. So that's where we're sitting for the week. Absolutely phenomenal year. Glad that the account is back and that the doubling down has taken place. I have 420 shares. Now that we are above my cost basis, I may end up shedding those odd lots, which means I could just come in here and shed my odd lots for $677. But I want a little bit more juice in it. We're up 14% today. I don't think Bitcoin's done yet. If we break out to that 90,000, break out above that $88,000 mark, I think 88,400 is the next line of resistance. If we break above that, Then I think we're going to push higher. If we get to probably the $37 mark, I'll end up selling my shares, those odd lot shares, getting back to cash on those so that we have some more buying power. And then we will wait for the next dip. Hopefully in the next video, which should probably be next Monday, I will be 100% back to cash. That's the hope. And we'll have over $14,000 worth of buying power available and ready to get at the game. Again, if we were to sell puts with the $14,000, let's just say we went down to the 30 strike, right? And we did 5 of those because we have 14,600-ish. So we could probably get 5 of those in. We could be collecting $400 a week on cash secured puts. So that's where we're sitting in the account. Not too bad. Hopefully all of your accounts are having a massive rally today. I am seeing green everywhere. So congratulations everybody that has been holding through all of the hard times in the last couple of weeks. To the moon we go. Appreciate everybody as always. Don't forget to drop a sub, drop a like, and if you guys think I should be trading some other stocks, drop the stock below you think I should sell cash secure puts on once we get back to cash. So appreciate everybody. Catch you next time. Happy investing.